All right, here we go. Um, Friends and enemies. Schizo the podcast, episode 25. And again, yeah, we are live on Twitch. If you don't know what the Twitch is, it's twitch.tv/ Miggy3D. And once again, this is going to be a delayed telecast for YouTube and Spotify. So today is a Friday. So it's going to be posted on Saturday tomorrow, and also if you're tuning in on Tuesday, it's going to be posted on Wednesday. All right, there we go. And we are joined by Kitty. It's been a long while. How are you doing?
Good and hungry.
Good. And also Elowen. How are you, Elowen?
Hi guys, I'm doing good.
Great. And you sound perfectly fine. I mean, the audio it's way better than it was Tuesday. So things are looking good, and hopefully I can donate the the headset right away to you so that we can have your audio in crisp quality from now on. Anyway, our topic tonight is very controversial. It could be controversial. It depends on how people take it, but let's just go with it. Here we go. I don't know if you've heard Kitty or Elwin, but
Mhm.
there's this congressman who who went on a it's not a rant per se. It's a he went it's because ABS-CBN is under investigation, and so this guy he laid out facts about ABS-CBN, right? So about what ABS-CBN is doing right now,
Mhm.
and historically speaking, and what's going on right now as well. So the first thing on the list is tax evasion. Apparently, they compared GMA and ABS-CBN in terms of the amount of taxes that they paid from 2017 up to 2019. So in 2017, GMA has paid 1.09 billion, while ABS-CBN paid 421 million. Now, 421 million is nothing to sneeze at, but if you think about it, ABS-CBN is bigger than GMA, right? Like way bigger than GMA, but GMA paid more tax than ABS-CBN. How is that possible? But anyway, let's move on then. Let's look at 2018. In 2018, GMA paid 1.8 billion. That's kind of consistent to what they're paying every year, I guess. So 2017 it was 1.9, 2018 1.8. But ABS-CBN didn't pay anything. Actually, in the graph, it's actually negative. So they paid, in a sense, they were paid by the Philippines, by the Philippine government. So because they have like a, I don't know if it's a tax break or it's like a tax credit. I don't know. I forgot the term, but apparently it seems like the Philippines has we owe ABS-CBN instead of
Mhm.
ABS-CBN paying tax. So basically zero. They paid nothing while GMA paid a billion. That's a billion. And in
Mhm.
2019 it's the same. Uh, GMA also paid a billion and ABS-CBN paid 152 million, right? Um,
Mhm.
this is just, I mean, they paid a tax in 2017 and 2019, but considering how big they are, it's safe to assume that they are evading taxes, you know? So
Mhm.
that's like a lot of people are saying, oh, press freedom. Duterte is doing this. He's doing this because he hates ABS-CBN. But we we should look at facts here. And by the way, this guy who talked, he is under oath. So I don't know if he's lying, but this is a constitution, this is a Congress, and he's doing it under oath. You know,
Yeah.
it's easy to counter his arguments if he does say things like this. So it's highly unlikely that he's gonna lie on a congressional meeting like this,
Obviously.
right? And now let's look at the next one. um, people are saying like ABS-CBN is ABS-CBN is giving a lot of people jobs. People are saying if you take down ABS-CBN, a lot of people will lose their jobs. Now that may be true, but another thing that ABS-CBN is saying is 11,000 up of people will lose their jobs. But I sent you a photo right here. Uh, ABS-CBN actually just has 2,661 employees, regular employees, and the others are just project based. And if you look at here, they actually has violation of the workers' rights. It's under
Yeah.
the Constitution. So, I mean, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, ABS-CBN is doing good. Let's fight for ABS-CBN because they are for the Filipino people." But what they don't know is ABS-CBN is actually violating the rights of these workers that they're trying to protect. All the people that we're trying to protect, they're actually violating their rights. So who's in the right here? Who should we protect? At this point is it's very confusing at this point because a lot of people on social media says things like ABS-CBN is someone good. It's like they're the good Samaritan. They're the ones who's trying to help the Filipino people, not Duterte, not the politicians. But if we look at, I mean, okay, the politicians are not perfect. I mean, I get it. Maybe they're not doing a good job. But in terms of persecuting ABS-CBN for what they are doing, like the violation of the workers' rights, it's probably a good thing. It's probably something right.
Yeah.
I mean, it may be out of
Yeah.
spite from Duterte that he's doing this, but to be fair, it's what they're doing is under Constitution.
Because I feel like in cases like this, right? If you don't have ammunition,
Yeah.
even if let's say the president has grievances towards you, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
If the president has grievances towards you, but he doesn't have any ammunition, you're not going to be put down.
Yeah.
No matter how much he hates you,
Yeah.
you're not going to be put down. But they have ammunition, they started digging because I think in the past, because I researched on it, like why is it that ang dami pala nilang what do you call this, violations, and it was overlooked by the past government. Why?
Yeah.
Be-
Yeah.
because they said that they were allied with the previous president, so all of those um what do you call this, all of those violations were overlooked. It was swept under the rug.
Yeah.
It was like for a different day and a problem for a different day. And then now that they're being prosecuted for it,
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to paint this sob story that, but
Yeah.
look at what we did before. It's like you're a huge company.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the Filipino artists and actors and actresses are in ABS-CBN.
Mm-hmm.
They're a big company. Most of the endorsers of commercial, like local commercials, all of them are mostly from ABS-CBN.
Yeah.
They're their product. So why is it that it's so hard for them to let go money and pay what is due?
Yeah.
And GMA didn't have a problem. GMA was like, okay, well, we owe you this.
Mm.
That's why people were like asking, how come they renewed GMA but not ABS-CBN? Because I think their franchises ended about the same time, but ABS-CBN wasn't able to renew theirs,
Mm-hmm.
and GMA was given the go signal, and they're like, oh, it's biased and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, it's not, because if you look at the figures, they've been doing whatever they have to for the government.
Yeah.
They're paying what they have to, and let's say it. I think the quality of their work isn't as good as the ABS-CBN shows, but at least
True.
they're clean.
Yeah. I guess it's not like the audience of the Philippine audience
Oh
prefers
yeah, it's
the
different.
ABS-CBN content compared to the GMA content. So there's that. But I guess, I mean, if it's hard to say anything because a lot of people are gonna hate you for hating someone that they like. I mean, all right, I'm gonna come clean here. I do hate ABS-CBN because of what they're doing, but it's not because it's just I just want to hate them because I love Duterte. It's nothing like that. Clearly, what I've been reading here is something to hate ABS-CBN. It like I'm trying to grin my teeth and I'm trying to like hold myself because this is crazy. Like even they have a foreign ownership. Gabi Lopez is a U.S. citizen. That's crazy. And like that people are saying, oh, but it's 50 years. Uh, ABS-CBN is more than 50 years, and the franchise is only up to have to be up to 50 years only, and they've exceeded that as well. So there's a lot of points to say that ABS-CBN should cease their franchise. But painting a sub story is just triggering people to bark on the wrong tree. Now what's happening is instead of people looking at the facts, people looking at okay, so this is really what is going on. That's why ABS-CBN has not renewed. What ABS-CBN is trying to do, and including their celebrities, that's why I kind of hate the celebrities as well, is they're trying to point it or paint a different picture. They're saying no, it's not because of the ABS-CBN. It's not because of the wrongdoings that ABS-CBN is doing. It's because of Duterte. It's because the politics. Because the politicians hate the ABS-CBN. We're the martyr here. We're the one trying a good. We're the ones trying to do a good favor for the Filipino citizens, and yet the politicians are trying to destroy us. Filipino people, help us. That's what they're trying to do. And quite frankly, it's like the Filipino people are blinded. This is I can send you the link of the whole talk that this like the Congress meeting that happened. I can send you the link and you can watch everything there. Um, and it's not none of the celebrities or any influencer talked about this.
That's the
I
thing.
I saw
It's so
this. You know where
sketchy.
I saw this? You know where I saw this? Like where I first saw this article? It's from pep.ph. That is a tabloid basically. Like it's not Rappler, it's not like Inquirer, it's not those Star, it's not those like
What?
newspaper
Pep?
websites that are considered as factual
Wait,
or
I
like
thought Pep was owned by ABS-CBN Corporation.
I don't know, but it's
They have
just
a
coming
lot
from
of
Pep.
digital media. I think Pep is one of them.
I have no idea,
Kind of
but
weird.
like the fact is, I got this from Pep, which is like it's like a chisme source, right? But they're the ones who gave us this, gave light, at least to my end, the information that about this information, and why isn't anyone saying things about this? Why isn't anyone addressing this situation? People, you know what's happening. People are saying, "Oh, that looks bad for us." What we should do is point it to a different scenario. Let's look at something else because what I saw is they've been pointing out that this person showed a Kim Chu video, which is bad on his end. I think he was just trying to make it funny, but it steered away from his main point. That's why a lot of people from social media, they pointed out to that, not the facts that he presented. So maybe that's a bad thing, but I don't know. What do you say, Kitty?
Well, the I saw the video that you were watching,
Uh huh.
and yeah, not a lot of like about the tax evasion and stuff. I didn't know about that. I only know about the employee rights because I have a lot of friends who work in ABS-CBN.
Mm,
And when you're from a media kind of community, most people in makes you have an interest to go for ABS-CBN or GMA, and all of us knows what happens on in there about the regularization and stuff. but no one can do anything about it, same as when I worked in SM and a lot of our employees are not being regularized. I know that was put into Supreme Court, but they don't do anything.
Yeah.
Too bad now they did something about ABS-CBN, because probably there are other concerns,
Yeah.
regarding Duterte. But now that it happened, these things are surfacing, and I think it's good that people know.
Yeah. I have an analogy. Hear me out. Okay, so both of you girls had boyfriends, right? Especially you, Elwin. Like last episode, I know you were you were talking a lot about this ex, the very abusive one. So
Yeah.
like for example, you have a boyfriend, right? And then he hurts you, he hits you, he abuses you physically and emotionally, and then your friends try to tell you, no, you can find someone better. You can, you deserve better, something like that. And you go like, oh, but I love him and all that. So you don't want to part ways with him. But then eventually, you part ways, and then you get a boyfriend, a different one, who cares for you, who loves you, and then who does things that's good for you, or like opposite of your previous one, and then you go like, oh, I did not know that it could be something like this, like a boyfriend. I didn't know that love could be something like this. That's what happened. And so that's basically what's happening now to the Filipino people. People are trying to defend ABS-CBN, the old boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend, because ABS-CBN is basically violating their rights, the worker rights. It's under constitution. What they're doing is unconstitutional. So what they're doing is a disservice to the Filipino people, and yet we love them, and yet we try to defend them. What if maybe what we need is another big corporation to treat these workers who's trying to defend ABS-CBN, to treat them right, so that they know that what ABS-CBN is doing to them is actually bullshit. So
Maybe
yeah.
that's why in the ads for the Laban something, they don't front the cameramans, the PAs, the writers. They put the artists, the celebrities.
Yeah. And if you think about it, those celebrities, because
Are
I
paid
think
well.
yeah, they're doing well in life. They get paid millions for a movie, isn't that right? You
Yeah.
know, they're doing
Unlike
well.
the other one.
Yeah, if they lost, let's just say, if
Yeah.
they lost 2 months worth of projects, I don't think that's a big dip in their savings. You
Yeah.
know,
Mm-hmm.
it's
I'm
gonna be hurtful, but it's not gonna be like, oh my god, I'm not gonna eat. My family's not gonna eat for the
Mhm.
next few days because you're millionaires.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
earn millions from your work.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I feel bad. Like the reason why, as I said, like a few episodes back, stop with the sob story. If I was
Mhm.
ABS, even stop it. Just pay what is due. Just do what it is that they're asking you to. If they don't have any ammunition, if they said what was wrong, take him up to court. There's
Mhm.
a hearing for it. And
They're just really
you
trying to
know,
make it a drama, like how it
like
is in their teleseries and stuff.
Yeah, I saw this
and
Carlo Katigbak. What he's saying is,
Yeah,
ang hirap maghanap ng trabaho ngayon, and si ABS-CBN
she's
ang
the
nagbibigay ng
CEO.
trabaho sa mga Filipino people. Fuck you, man. Like, address
Well,
the
he does,
situation.
pero
Can you
project
please
based.
address yung violation na ginagawa niya sa mga workers natin? Can you please address that? Stop with it. Again, like what Elwin said,
yeah,
they're starting with a sub story. What the fuck are they
just get
doing?
like just I feel like it's people are now like over it. You see, like no one really talks about it that much because
Mhm.
people have been like, again, this again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It
Mm.
gets old. The whole story gets old, and evidences keeps piling up against them. And I had this college friend before, a frenemy. she posted that the reason why ABS-CBN is closed down is because the president's feelings were hurt. And I was saying to myself, like, yeah, his feelings were hurt, but if he doesn't have any grounds to
Yeah.
suspend them,
Yeah.
they won't be
Yeah.
suspended. Like, we're a democratic country. It doesn't work that way. We're not like Russia or North Korea,
China.
where the leader says, yeah, or China, where the
Yeah.
leader says, you know what, I don't like what you posted. I don't like what you said. We're gonna shut down your broadcasting company. It's not that way.
Yeah, but that's not what the
It's
people
gonna go
think.
to a
Like,
fair.
I think people think
Yeah,
Duterte is like that. Like, if you say something to oppose Duterte, he's just gonna destroy you. He's just gonna remove you. He's just gonna
no,
cancel
that's
you.
not how it
I think a lot
works.
of people. I
He's
think a lot of people think that way, especially how let's face it. It's how ABS-CBN brainwashed them because of all the content that they're trying to put out there that is very biased towards ABS-CBN and towards against Duterte. So it just brainwashed people, I guess, and that's why people are triggered this way, and then now they're barking at the wrong tree. Now they don't know what's right, and what they don't know that what they're fighting for is actually the wrong side. They are fighting for corruption, and these violation of constitution, these tax evasion, this is corrupt. This is corruption.
Mhm.
And us
Mhm.
backing up ABS-CBN, we're actually backing up corruption here. So please, let's be informed, ladies and gentlemen. Let's stop being like, it's funny. People say, like, they post and they put a hashtag Bulagbulagan. Like, people, tayo rin nagbubulag-bulagan tayo for protecting ABS-CBN. And look at what
I
they're
feel like
doing.
other people who are protecting them, they don't know about this kasi hindi siya widely linabas. It should
Mhm.
be though. Eh kaso like GMA cannot do that kasi if they do, they look like sinisiraan nila si ABS-CBN.
Yeah, that's true. It should come from
I feel
other
like,
source. Yeah.
yeah, and remember when they first shut down ABS-CBN, it was everyone was livid and they were like, "Oh, siguro masaya yung may-ari ng GMA because they
Mhm.
don't have much competition."
Yeah.
You have other the Philippine television or broadcasting community doesn't only consist of ABS-CBN
Mhm.
and GMA. You
Mhm.
have what's the other channels? You have other
Yeah.
channels. You
Yeah.
have
There's
you have
no
CNN
channel.
TV5. Yeah.
Philippines. Yeah, TV5, you have CNN Philippines, you have other channels, ANC and whatnot, that still, that still brings news and
Mhm.
brings
Yeah. Entertainment.
entertainment
Yeah.
if you want, and it's
Mhm.
not. And even what's her name, Jessica Soho,
Mhm.
even told
Mhm.
that she feels for the workers, the displaced
Mhm.
workers, since the ABS-CBN shut down.
What I would
It's
say is
not,
I feel bad
people are
for the
just painting
workers,
people,
not just when
you know,
ABS-CBN shut down, but also while ABS-CBN was going on, because
was still
ABS-CBN
running.
is violating. And let me stress this: ABS-CBN is violating the rights of our workers. What they're doing is unconstitutional, and like, people are hating on GMA right now, but they're the ones who's paying taxes. They're the ones who's actually doing the Filipino people a favor. Granted,
Why are they hating
maybe
on
those
GMA?
taxes are not going to maybe those taxes are not going directly to the Filipino people, because our politicians is also corrupt. They're also pocketing a lot of the money, a lot of the tax that GMA is paying. But still, they're the ones who's paying taxes, and they're the ones who's actually helping the Filipino citizens, the Filipino people. So a lot of the ayuda nakukuha natin, or like, maybe not me, but like a lot of people that are getting ayuda, it, part of it is coming from of the tax that GMA paid. And if we look at the
Yeah,
graph, like, not a lot of those are coming from ABS-CBN. So fuck that.
yeah,
I'm
it's
getting more angry
unfair.
about this, but yeah.
Yeah, it's unfair. The whole unfairity of this is because they paint. I'm not a supporter of the president. I don't want to be all political.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I want to keep my opinions to myself. But right now, everyone, I feel like they're biased because they're not educated well.
Mm.
You
Yeah,
know,
true.
Could be.
they
They're
don't
not informed.
know. Yeah, they're not informed. They don't know. So it's kind of like that. Like whatever it is, like if you have a friend and that friend tells you that, oh, this is what happened to me, I feel so bad, but you don't know the whole story behind it, you're going to be biased to
Yeah.
your friend because you know her, you know him, but you don't know the whole story.
That's
You have
true.
to hear both sides. And again, people,
Mm.
although the president has some, he has gravitons to what he says, he can't shut down a broadcasting company on his own
Yeah.
without any grounds.
Yeah.
It's just not like that. We're not a communist country. We're a democratic country.
We're
Everything
not
goes
communist
through.
yet.
Yeah, yet.
All right. Yeah.
Hopefully,
That is
we
true. That
won't.
is true, Eloin. Yeah.
You know, if even if he hates it, even if he loads it, look at Trump. He hates, he
CNN.
hates
Yeah.
news outlets that doesn't agree with him, but he can't close them down
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he's running a democratic country.
Yeah.
He runs a democratic country. Even if he hates load CNN,
Yeah.
he can't just shut them down because he doesn't have any
Yeah.
ammunition
Yeah.
towards them. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so it's the same here. The reason why they've been shut down because they are violating something. And again, if you're still sobbing, oh, they should be, put back on air because I really want to see their show. Wait till the trial is over. They're being tried for it.
Mm.
Wait until that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Or watch on iWant TV or on
Is that
Yeah.
still
YouTube.
on?
They're still on. Yeah. Of course they are. It's not. It's just on
I don't know. I don't
television.
watch TV anyway.
Yeah.
I watch
Yeah,
the news
that's
though.
very true. So again, I mean that's true, Eloin. I would say maybe yeah, it's true. We don't. Well, I do hate them, but not for you. You guys don't hate them, but and what we're just trying to do, guys, is just giving you an information that maybe biased news source will not give you. So here you go. This is something that you should consider, and maybe your reaction now, maybe what you're saying online, maybe what you're posting now is biased, not because you're just biased, but maybe because you're uninformed. So here you go. This is information that you should also consider when it comes to when you do post something. And I hope those influencers out there, try to influence people for the good without any bias, without any, without an ulterior motive. Just give them an unbiased, very factual information, and then let the people decide on it.
Miguel,
Yeah.
when you post this, you should put the hashtag no to Bulagbulagan.
Yeah, I would just say, I'll just say hashtag Bulagbulagan, right? Because that's what they're implying, I guess,
Like,
when they post a Facebook feed, they'll put their, like, for example, it's like a Duterte saying a speech, and then they'll put their Bulagbulagan. So I'll put the same. I'll share. I'll post the video and then put their Bulagbulagan.
No offense. I don't have anything. No, I do. I am not a fan of the president right now because I always watch his press conferences at night,
Mhm.
and it doesn't give me the information that I need that should be addressed, but it doesn't. But regarding his actions on ABS-CBN, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
if there's anything that Duterte is doing that's correct, it's probably this one. It's probably the going against an oligarch, the Lopez's, and this one, the ABS-CBN thing. Granted, it's out of spite. Maybe it's out of spite. Maybe he hates ABS-CBN, but to be fair, it's with all that's going on, with all the grounds that
I don't think it's out of
ABS-CBN did.
spite though.
I mean, like if it is out of spite, then we can at least say na he
Mm-hmm.
does have a point.
I
He
think
is
dati
doing
pang
it
issue
out of,
pero he made a move. Dati
yeah,
pang issue
Yeah.
to eh. So he has the right.
yeah. We can say,
And
all
I
right,
feel
yeah,
like
he,
people are saying that he did it out of spite because
I don't
remember
think
when
that's
he was
true.
running, he was running for presidency, they
Yeah.
wouldn't air his commercials, and
Yeah.
that's when he made the statement that I'm gonna get you for this
Yeah.
because it's unfair. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
granted that they're promoting their own candidate. You shouldn't be choosing anyone. You should have a fair play,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they were like, nah. And then they probably didn't think that he'd win. And when he did win, he started looking into ABS-CBN and saw those lapses, and
Yeah.
he built a case.
Yeah.
That's why you don't mess with people. It's not just that. Again, if he didn't have evidences, if he didn't have grounds, no matter how
Yeah.
much he digs, if the ABS-CBN was clean, no matter how much the president hates them,
Yeah.
they're not gonna be shut down. But malas nila, merong nahukay eh. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Merong
it's not
nahukay, meron
malas.
sila.
It's just they did something. It's like this. So if we wrap things up, we can say like, is Duterte biased? Is Duterte doing this out of spite? Maybe. But is ABS-CBN unconstitutional? Are they corrupt? Yes. So there you
Oh
go.
yeah.
That's why this happened. And if those people who are out of work should blame anyone, they should blame ABS-CBN because they're the
I
ones who did the
second that.
corruption. They're the ones who violated the constitution. So why should they
Yeah.
point the finger? Why should they point fingers to the president? The president didn't. The president was not the one who did an unconstitutional thing. The president was not the one who evaded the taxes. It was ABS-CBN. So we should be mad at ABS-CBN, not the politicians. In this particular case, at least, we should be mad at ABS-CBN for doing this. But anyway, yeah, I guess that's a huge topic out of my heart. I've been wanting to say that since I saw this.
You're pretty passionate about it.
Yeah, because it's okay. It's crazy. Like a lot of okay, if you know my newsfeed, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, laban ABS-CBN, pagtanggol natin yung ABS-CBN.
I miss.
ABS-CBN is doing something good for the Filipino people." But when I look at this, what the fuck are they talking about? There's nothing there. Nothing in this one. In the video, there's nothing that you can say ABS-CBN is the savior of the Philippines. All they did is suck dry the Filipino people. They're violating the workers' rights. They have like 11,000 employees. 2,000 plus are regular. Others are just contractual. These people are not getting any benefits. And yet they defend them. Come on. They they're they're unconstitutional. They are killing you. And then next, they don't pay any taxes. Those people, yung mga mahihirap, sila yung nangangailangan ng pera, saan kukunin ng gobyerno yung pera? Sa mga taxes. ABS-CBN did not give anything. They gave something but not to the capacity na dapat nilang binibigay. So yes, they evaded taxes. Why are we protecting them? That's why I hate them. That's why I am very mad, and that's why I am very passionate about this. So yeah, that's all I'll say about it. Ugh, crazy. And all those fake news, man. God damn it. You want to talk about fake news? Let's stay on this topic just a little bit because I saw. Okay, here's my thing. What do you think of press? What is the role of the press for you? Because people are talking about press freedom. To you girls, what is press for you? What is press? What is the role of a press in a country?
To find truth.
Okay.
So- That's according to Clark Kent.
Okay. DC reference. I actually like Marvel, but okay, I'll take that. How about you, Elwin? What is the role of the press for you?
Even in high school, everyone says things about that.
Did we lose Elwin?
She's on mobile right now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Anyway, so hey, Elwin, you there?
She's on green though.
Oh yeah.
She's probably
Yeah.
losing.
Anyway, I asked because um recently I've been checking out the like news source, Rappler, uh, Inquirer, Pep. But Pep is doesn't really count because they're like tabloids, as I've said. But a lot of people, like misunderstood what press freedom is. Press freedom, it means like you're giving freedom for the press to voice out, to give news. And I think what's
Mhm.
distorted is what news is, because people now they just say, okay, if it comes from Inquirer, if it comes from Rappler, it's news. But no, news is something you're giving out facts. You're not giving out
Yeah.
opinions. You should be giving out facts. But nowadays, since it's all on social media, since we're since like these news source they make money out of clicks, they now try to use clickbait. So they give their own
Yeah.
opinion in their news, which in turn doesn't really, it's not news anymore. It's now like an
Yeah.
opinion section, right? So if there's something like, for example, if Duterte, like for example, Duterte takes 100,000 from a bank, something like that. Uh, a news source would go like, Duterte went to the bank and took 100,000, and then what an opinion would be, Duterte took 100,000, maybe it's corruption, siguro kinuha niya yun sa ganito ganyan. So that's an opinion, and news source is going for opinion instead of news actually. So maybe it's not fake news. It's not fake news what we're doing, but when it comes to opinion, there's always going to be a bias, and usually the bias is they're biased towards the person's belief. So when
Mhm.
it reaches the people, it's already massaged. It's already what do you call this? It's already digested into the bias of the writer. But what should happen is the people should just receive the facts, and then let those
Yeah.
people make decision based on the facts that they saw.
And
What
I
do you
think
think? Yeah.
I feel like because news, I searched the meaning of news,
Mm-hmm.
and it says here that news is newly received or noteworthy information, especially about recent or important events.
Mm-hmm.
No, noteworthy information.
Yeah.
And fake news are just annoying the hell out of me because sometimes the victims of it are usually the elderly because they believe it so dang fast because they see it and they think that it's real news, and they form their opinion about it. And that's why I always tell my mom or my dad that stop reading those articles if it didn't come from
A reliable source.
websites, yeah, from a reliable source, because
Mm-hmm.
it's probably bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's nothing. And I think the what's good about, again, I'm not biased or anything, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But what I saw that GMA is doing, even before ABS-CBN, even before this whole thing is doing, they present news the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
They don't cover up anything.
Yeah.
They're just straight out there, like, this is the news.
Yeah. This is what
Do
happened. Yeah.
you form it? Yeah, you form, and people are like, well, what about what happened to Eddie Garcia? The actor who died on their set, and they're like, we didn't push through with that news in respect to their family, to the
Mm-hmm.
actor's family, because the family requested not to put out sensitive information.
Yeah.
But if the family didn't ask them to do that, they were really transparent about it.
Yeah.
And that's how news should work.
Yeah.
I like their tagline more than ABS-CBN because their tagline is shucks, I'm not good at walang
Walang tulugan.
kinikilingan. No, walang kinikilingan,
All right, yeah.
walang pinoprotektahan,
Hmm.
walang kasinungalingan.
Yeah.
Serbisyong totoo lamang.
All right. Wow.
So it's
Hey, Eloin. Okay.
good. So that's their tagline, and it's something that all news outlets should really put into heart,
Yeah,
that
that's
you
what
shouldn't have
journalism
any
should do.
bias. You shouldn't have Yeah, you shouldn't have any bias. You shouldn't have you shouldn't have anyone who's you're protecting or anything like that. No lies, just
Hmm.
straight up facts. That's the journalism that wins them awards, wins them the respect of the people. Because again, GMA shows,
Hmm.
the teleserie shows, kind of shit.
Yeah,
But news, you
yeah, you can
can't
rely. Yeah,
dispute.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't dispute that journalism by GMA7 is one of the best in the Philippines.
yeah,
They have the journalist that wins awards, that that makes documentaries and shit like that. And that's how it is. Like, just give us the news without any bias. Let people form their own opinion about
that's
it.
true. Yeah,
If their opinion is what it is, then that's your opinion. But
yeah,
we did our job. We gave you the news that you deserve.
yeah,
That's what I want. Like, I want the news that I deserve, because I am a tax-paying person of the Philippines, and I want to know the information that I'm owed. You know,
yeah. I
because
mean, yeah, that's true. Uh, yeah, the news source should just give out facts. They should be giving out you know what's happening, what is factual. If they wanna give out their opinion, then they should make a blog. They should make a vlog. They should make like a what is this? Like an opinion section. That's what they should do. Have you seen the interview by Seth Rogen and I forgot the name of the guy, but there's a this guy. He said, the first rule of journalism is give the people what they want," and then Seth Rogen corrected him. No, that's not the first rule of journalism. So, but basically, what I'm saying is, what that guy said. Who's that? What's the name of the guy? Kitty or Eloin? Do you know the guy?
No.
the interview
Yeah,
with Seth Rogen,
yeah,
and I know his name.
yeah. Can you give it to us?
Wait, I forgot. Wait.
He's a brother of a famous actor as well. Forgot.
Franco?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. James Franco, right?
Oh,
Is it
yeah,
the older one or the younger one?
The older one.
James.
Yeah, James Franco. James Franco said the first rule of journalism is give the people what they want, and then Seth Rogen was like, "No, that's not the first rule of journalism." And so what I'm saying is ABS-CBN is like, all right, not ABS-CBN, but maybe a lot of the news source nowadays, even CNN is guilty of this. Uh, they're they're trying to give the people what they want, which is not journalism anymore. That's an opinion. That's a vlog. But it gives people clicks. That's what makes people click. So that's what we're trying to do, and that's not okay. That is not okay. That's why we are in this world where people are just swirling around grasping for information, because we can't get information anymore. We just get all these opinions. We just get all these laid out facts. Those are biased already. So I don't know. What is this world that we're trying to achieve? Uh, it's crazy. All right, another
That's
topic that I'd like to
that's some
discuss.
heated discussion, but guys, I think I gotta go. That was fun though.
Oh, okay. All right, right. Okay.
Okay, thank you for including me today.
All right, sure. All right, Eloin. We've
yeah.
talked about this racism thing, and I think okay. Let's just you wanna give out the information?
Okay. This is about George Floyd,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So George Floyd was a black man, and it's probably all over the internet right now. You can see justice
Yeah.
for He was arrested in and there was a police officer kneeling on his neck.
Yeah.
He was pinned to the ground and he was being arrested. And he said, there's a video of it, and he was begging the cops to say, and he was saying, "Please, officer, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
My stomach hurts. My chest hurts. I can't breathe." And he says, "They're going to kill me, man."
Hmm.
And he died. He died. He was unresponsive, and the people that were filming it was telling the police officers, he's not responding. He's not responding anymore. And the police officers were like, "Don't mess or don't react to it. Don't respond to him and stuff like that." And they were saying, "You should call 911. No, you shouldn't do that. Just let us do our jobs."
Mm-hmm.
And it has sparked a lot of controversy, or a lot of
Outrage.
anger from the community, because again, he was killed in broad daylight.
Yeah.
He was begging for his life.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw that news article, I think I saw it on BuzzFeed, it triggered so much emotion in me, because I grew up in Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
And we were a few family of Asian people, but most of the Asian people there are East Asians.
Yeah.
I had different colored skin, and I experienced racism firsthand.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just in the UK. When I went to Chicago, I experienced racism there, and it's all over, and it saddens me so much, because that man, I think there has been testimonies about him that he was accused of forgery.
Mm.
He didn't murder anyone. He didn't assault anyone. He was just accused of forgery. He was trying to they were trying to book him in, and he was like, do you have a warrant or something like that? And he refused. So that's where the whole situation is.
Started,
And
yeah.
people are saying, yeah, that's where it started.
Mm-hmm.
And it saddens me so much, because this happens all the time.
Mm.
It happens all the time, not just in the US, not just with black people, but every single race there is.
Yeah.
Black lives do matter, and just looking at it, like that video, if you're having, or if you have anxiety, or you tend to overthink, or you have depression, I suggest you don't watch the video, because it will trigger so much in you. And people now are rallying, and the thing about it is that people were enraged about, because the police station, or the police outlet, or the NYPD tried to cover it up with
Yeah,
the story. Let
that's
me
true.
just check this.
Are you sending something?
Yeah, I'm just what the police
What the police said? Okay, okay,
outlet,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
what
I'll
the
wait for
police
you.
said. I don't want to be quoted for wrong thing.
Yeah, that's a very sad story.
Yeah, and yeah, I think I found.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Minneapolis police, rather. Not New York.
Yeah, Minneapolis. Yeah.
So the Minneapolis police said that they tried.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Minneapolis police.
Yeah, Dang it, I lost the article. Oh, I saw it. I think here. The mayor of Minneapolis is calling for the officer who knelt on George Floyd's neck to be arrested because, again, this is murder. They fired the 4 officers
Mm-hmm.
that arrested George Floyd, but people now want them to be arrested for it. They're gonna be arrested for murder because what they did was murder.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with that. The the person and the people around you were shouting at them and were pleading with them, please just let him go. He can't breathe. And all they say is don't react to what he's saying. You
So
know, we've been
people
trying
are
to get him in.
so people are around them
Yeah,
and taking
yeah,
videos,
there were people. Yeah,
and the police
and
officers still did that.
yeah, they were like they weren't listening to them. And I think one of the police officers has 18 claims, or there's been 18 reclamos on him.
Ah,
I
okay.
forgot. Yeah. So he has a record of 18 charges with
Mm-hmm.
him, but still he's not being tried for it.
Mm-hmm.
And now people are so enraged for it because I read somewhere, and I think Viola Davis posted it, that George Floyd helped his community. You know, he was a man of God. He took a little pool, like a rubber pool, to help baptize people
Mm.
who are in the projects.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was a man of God, and all he did, like, and I also saw a comparison of this. There was this white person who killed people, and when he was sent to the police station, he was offered food because he was hungry.
Yeah.
And yet that was a murderer. And yet here's George Floyd, who's only being accused of forgery,
And it's
and he
not even,
had
it's just
to.
an accused, right? It's not,
Yeah,
they don't
it
have a
was.
warrant or anything, right?
Yeah, he was just accused of it,
Yeah. And
and
there's no
it's.
warrant. That's true, right?
Yeah. If and I also, this is the whole problem with it. Like, there's 2 viruses that's killing people, and I think I saw it somewhere on Instagram. It says it's COVID and racism.
Mm, yeah.
Serious. Remember, there was this woman who called the police because a black man asked her to put her dog on a leash in
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Central Park,
Yeah.
right? And I saw this article, and I'll read it to you.
Mm.
Are y'all there?
Yeah, I'm here.
It says here that, imagine this, right? Imagine this. You purchase a 65-inch TV for your mother. It doesn't fit in your SUV, so you ask the store if they will hold it for you to pick up later. You and your mother come back later to get the TV and start loading it in your vehicle. An officer in the store thinks you're stealing it. A
Mm,
store employee explains to the officer that the TV was paid for. The
mm.
officer ignores this and calls the police department for backup. You
Crazy.
tell your mother, and the both of you decided to return the TV to the store because you don't want any problems.
Mm-hmm.
While trying to get your refund, 4 officers, including the first, throw you and your 68-year-old mother on the ground. You get a concussion, and 3 of your teeth are shattered during the beating. Your mother is a witness and thinks they're going to kill you. She suffers injuries to her tailbone, back, shoulders, knees, and arms. You know she's in frail health. You are humiliated in front of an entire store that sees a black man accused of stealing a TV. The
Mm,
city's public safety director later denies that the officer used excessive force in spite of video evidences.
mm.
Imagine being judged like that just because of the color of your skin.
Yeah. Yeah, this racism thing is like a never-ending thing. I thought we were past that. I mean, if you look at things like, I mean, it's not really a problem here in the Philippines, but like in the U.S., I am a fan of basketball, so I watch NBA, and I am also aware with what's happening in the U.S. because I have relatives there. Um, and
Mhm.
it's just crazy, like every single time there's racism that's, like last year or like 2 years ago, there was a like gunning that already happened. They only killed black people, and then
Yeah.
now there's this, and it's the police who are doing it. And like I thought at first it was absurd that people are blaming the police because it's not just the
They're
police
law
who are yeah
enforcers.
who are trying to, but it's true with all these that's happening. It's not there was like before this happened with the police officer, there was this man who was just jogging, and then he was gunned down by two white men, and then now this happened. So
Mm-hmm.
like everybody right now is just enraged, and people are like saying, why is it that black people are treated this way by white people? It's just a crazy thing to do. Like even though you think like, okay, you're better than people, you're better than everyone else, but to kill someone about it, to kill someone because you think you can get away with it, to kill someone because you think you are superior to them, it's just it's just something that's crazy. It's an idea of a crazy person, and maybe this is, I don't know how to address that. If you're the US, how would you even address that?
Yeah, and it's not, again, it's not just happening with black people. Remember a few months ago,
Oh yeah,
there
like
was
people are being
in the
racist as well
in the
with
COVID,
Asians. Yeah.
with there are people who are assaulting East Asian looking individuals.
Yeah.
Chinese American, Korean American, Japanese American citizens are being racially, assaulted and insulted just because they look Chinese,
Yeah, they're
or just
they're
because
basically
they look like they're
blaming
Asian.
COVID to those Asian looking people.
Yeah, and they I saw an article where someone hits a woman's head. She was hit in the head with a bottle or like a rock, and she was told to go fuck off to China.
Yeah.
And I don't know what goes in those people's head. Why do you think you're so superior? I remember this. I went on a date once
Mm-hmm.
with a guy, and he's a MAGA supporter. So if you don't know
Magas?
what a MAGA is, no, MAGA. MAGA is
Make
the
America Great Again?
President Trump's, yeah,
Yeah.
President Trump's tagline.
Okay.
Um, and he was proud of it, and I'm like, well, okay. I didn't know when I first started, I first went on a date with him.
You didn't know, yeah.
It was one day, yeah, I have no idea. And then he showed me pictures of their quote unquote gathering, and they were wearing the red hats, and I didn't know what to say. And he literally told me, because we were exchanging ideas, and he's like, you know what, you're too liberal for me, but I think we'll make a good couple, And I'm like, okay. And she's like, you know what? Why I like why I like Asian women, because mixed babies with Asian girls are the best babies.
Mm.
And I was sitting there, and I'm like, I don't know what to say to that. It's like, and plus Asian girls are good with household chores. Uh, well,
Oh, wow. All right.
he said that to my face, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I was just trying to be polite and be like, I just want this evening to end.
Mm.
And he was just saying, like, he was saying racist things, and I'm like, that's not it. Like all babies are pretty, like not
Yeah.
just Asian Caucasian babies. All babies are pretty, like, and they're cute. And it's like, no, like I never wanted to have a black baby. And that's when I was like, you know what?
Wow.
I I remember I have this early meeting tomorrow, but thank you for the lovely evening, and I was like, why? Because he told me, like, I understand that you have opinions
Mhm,
about racism in America and stuff like that,
mhm.
but I understand that because Asians are minorities. He told me that Asians are minorities,
Yeah.
and I was like, hold up. Asians aren't minorities. There's literally billions of us.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
We
maybe in
make
the
more
US. I
than
mean, maybe
half.
that's what they
Yeah,
think.
maybe in
Maybe
the
in the
US,
US.
but he was talking in general, like
Mm,
in general in the whole world,
mm.
like white people are more superior because they were the masters,
Yeah,
and
they're the
some of the
superior
slaves
race.
are
That's
Asian.
what they say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was like, but look where America's not as great as you think it is,
Yeah, that's
and he
true.
can't accept that. Like,
Yeah, and the thing
it's
about that
not
is
as great.
he probably doesn't even know that he's being racist. He's just
Yeah,
voicing
it's
out
just
his opinions, and to us, we can see clearly that's a racist. That's a racist thing to say. But he's been, I mean, especially he's with like MAGA. So when they go to a gathering, they all say the same thing, and like to them, it's okay. It's not racist. It's something that's normal, and if you put them in a different setting and people hear them, they'll know right away that, oh, hey, you're racist, and they have to
slow
be,
down.
yeah.
Slow down. It's not like that. Like, again, these are people that are misinformed, but some of them can't accept the fact that people are people. Black people are people.
Yeah, those
Asians are people.
the whites should be put in their place, I guess. I don't even know how to do it, but like, if it's to the point where we are already killing people out of this racism thing, then we really have to do something about it. I mean,
Yeah,
we do have
we
a,
should.
yeah. I mean, I'm
And I'm not
thankful.
saying, like,
I'm thankful that it's
yeah,
not happening here in the Philippines, but it's this racism thing is. I mean, maybe we
yeah, and
like
I'm not
you're a
questioning.
Filipino, right? So, if you're a
Yeah.
Filipino, sometimes we are racist in a like in an opposite way. Like we are racist against our kind. Like we respect white people more than we respect ourselves. Like
Yeah.
if it's a Filipino, para okay, hindi masyado maganda yung quality. Pagka US quality, right, maganda yan. So parang we're racist in a different way. So there's that too.
It's like internalized
But
racism.
maybe that's the reason why white people, or like those people who think they're superior, think that way. It's because they've dealt with that kind of thing. They're for like hundreds of years. They've been they're not like a superior race, but like most of them, they're in business. They are at the top of the corporate heap. They uh, black people were slaves, so they were slave owners. So they think themselves
And
as superior, but that's not the time anymore. You were wrong before, and you were still wrong now. But right now, you have to be
yeah,
called for
it's
it,
like,
and you have to accept the fact that it's no longer the norm. That the society doesn't accept these things anymore, and you have to
yeah,
make a
and it's not
change.
like, yeah, and it's not like, um you being a superior, quote unquote, superior race than anyone just because you own slaves
Mm,
hundreds of years back.
yeah.
It's one of the greatest tragedies in the world. The slave, like the
Mm,
African slave thing happening.
mm. Yeah.
Imagine you're just, you're just chilling in your own house. Someone takes you and then puts you in a different country for you to be a slave.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest human tragedies that
Yeah.
we've ever, engineered. And it's not like, whenever people are like, because I've heard and joined a conversation about this, that the biggest problem now in America is that there's a lot of immigrants coming into America, or that's
Mm.
they're scared of that because immigrant people are taking their jobs and whatnot.
Mm.
America is built on immigrants.
Yeah, that's true. They're all
Literally, like,
immigrants.
why?
White people are
Yeah,
immigrants. They they're
why?
not the original Indians are
Yeah,
the
you.
original
That's not
residents
your.
of
Yeah,
America.
you're not Native Americans. The
Yeah.
reason why you have Native Americans is because they're native to the land.
Yeah.
It's their land.
They
Like,
stole it from them.
yeah, settlers went in and started like colonizing the US, but that's not your land.
Yeah.
Your ancestors probably from Europe. Most likely they're from the UK because,
Mm. Yeah.
and
Columbus.
it's so weird. And I remember that guy told me, well, if it wasn't for America, the rest of the world wouldn't be speaking in English. And I'm like, English came from the UK, right?
Mm.
And he
Yeah.
was like, no, it's Americans. Like, no, the reason why they call British people English is
Mm.
because English came from them.
Yeah, those people are that guy is uninformed. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
I
He's
think
just
about that.
blabber. Maybe he's just repeating whatever it is that is mentioned on the MAGA conference. I mean, because
Yeah,
even
and
Trump
he was
doesn't know what he's saying. He's just saying things that is good for a rally, like, all right, white people are superior, build a wall, and all that stuff. So, he's just
I'm like,
uninformed. He's just going with a good what do you call this, rally cry. He's just that's what he's doing basically.
and me and my partner was talking about this,
Uh,
because because he's white,
oh yeah,
and I
yeah.
said, I'm not saying that um you're a racist person, or that you get as much, because you do have, white people do have privilege,
Mm-hmm.
because of the color of their skin. There was a study shown that if a black person or a different race person competes with a white person
Mm-hmm.
for a job, let's say same school, you graduated the same school, same GPA, same credit score, same everything, you just differ from the color
Color
of
of
your
your skin.
skin.
Yeah,
The white person's probably going to get that job,
yeah.
not the Asians, not the black people, because we were programmed, even in the Philippines, because I like my skin. I have a chocolate skin,
Mm.
the color of Milo if you mix a little milk on it.
Okay. All right.
So I love my skin because back in Ireland, all my friends were white,
Yeah, they're envious of your
and
skin probably.
yeah, they would compliment my skin like,
Mm.
"Oh, you have such a good tan skin," and I'm like, effortless. And then when I
Okay. All right.
and then
Mm.
because for them they have to spray tan themselves and they look like Oompa Loompas
Yeah.
after because it's orange.
Mm.
And when I got here, my skin color isn't good enough because the norm in the Philippines is you have to have fair skin.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that came from Spanish era, where we see white people as superiors, so we think they're prettier, and the first time that I felt insecure about my skin was when I got here, when people are saying, alam mo, you should try gluta. You should try this. You shouldn't be too much under the sun because lalo kang iitim,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I was okay with my skin before and didn't notice it. I was proud of it. I loved it. And now I'm trying to educate people, like, in Ireland this is hit there.
Yeah.
you know I like my skin because whenever they always compliment me, oh, you're so lucky you have natural tan skin. And it's hard. It's hard, whether it's hard to balance things out when it comes to race, because sometimes we we inadvertently say racist things.
Yeah.
We're not even aware of it. Like, what do you say? Like, the Indian people that's in the motorcycles, we tease them that they kind of smell.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, don't
Yeah.
be like that. But we don't know that we're being racially absurd, or we're being a bit racist, because for us it's just a joke.
Yeah, it's a stereotype,
It's a
basically.
stereotype.
Yeah.
It's a stereotype, and sometimes we tease people if
Mm.
they look different, if they're too dark, if they have curly hair. Just why
Yeah,
does
yeah,
it
that's
matter?
fine. Yeah. But
you know, like,
it's too different for like looking yourself as like your race as superior, and then to the point that you're killing someone, you're killing that,
yeah,
the other race because you think you're superior to them. That's a huge red flag. Anyway,
yeah,
this is something that I'd like to talk about actually. Let me just fix my camera here. All
Michael
right.
Porter.
Maybe this is where we're gonna have a disagreement. I'm not sure, but let's see. Okay. Where is it? All right. So there's this thing where so that being said, the background, what happened about with George Floyd, the death, and I've heard of the death. I've seen photos, but with how you described it, it's just too much. Like it's crazy. They're doing it even in like in broad daylight, and then people are trying to stop
With
the police
witnesses.
officer. Yeah, with witnesses, police people are trying to, oh, should we call 911, and they're not stopping, they're not doing, like they just continued killing the guy. That makes me furious as well. But okay, okay, this NBA player, if you don't know
Mhm.
Michael Porter Jr., he's probably the best looking. He's the most handsome basketball player in the NBA. Maybe JJ Redick to some people, but he's JJ Redick is older now. But I think it's Michael Porter Jr. So I mean, because a lot of women will be watching this, and NBA. Usually, the women they like the handsome player. So there you go. Michael Porter Jr. is like, from to me, is the most handsome player in the NBA. Anyway, so he tweeted, and this caused a lot of controversy in the NBA circle. So this is what he said: as much as you pray, as much as you pray for George's family, you gotta also pray for the police officers who were involved in this evil. As hard as it is, pray for them instead of hate them. Pray that God changes their hearts. That's what he said. And then
Mhm.
a lot of people, like in the NBA, who are honestly, they're black, so they were hating on him. They were saying like, nah, hell no. And then people was like, one of the players said, somebody talk to their rookie, please, because he's like a rookie. And then
Mhm.
another said, this kid is entitled. He doesn't know, because he's from a good family. He doesn't know what being
I,
black is. So he got a lot of flack. What do you think about
mhm.
that? Then I'll give my
I
comments
feel like
later. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like he came from a good place.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, for me, I don't see anything wrong with his tweet.
Yeah.
There isn't. I think because he was tweeting that he just wants prayers, and for I don't know, God to enlighten those people that did that man wrong. And there's nothing wrong with that. For me, there's nothing wrong. I don't see any red flags, but I think it was misunderstood that he was privileged, that he doesn't care or he doesn't understand.
Yeah.
He said that, as much as you pray for George's family, because it is, what happened to them is tragic.
Mm-hmm.
Pray for those police officers as well,
Yeah.
because they need guidance, and I agree with him. They do. They really do.
Yeah.
this whole experience should be a lesson to them in life. I pray that they go to jail,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
they realize what they realize. If I have to pray for them, I pray that God uses them as an instrument to open the eyes of everyone
Yeah.
against racism. That's it. You know, what they did was wrong.
Yeah. I'm
Should
actually. Yeah.
yeah, should Porter Jr. be crucified for his tweet? No, I don't think. I
Mhm.
don't think what he meant wrong. You know, he was just asking. He didn't say that. He didn't say that. Pray for them because the police officer probably didn't understand what they're doing.
Yeah.
He didn't say pray for the police officer because they're probably having a hard time too because they're being blasted all over the internet.
Yeah.
Didn't say that. All he said was pray for them so that for their own enlightening.
Yeah. For God to
You know,
change their heart. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
for God to change their heart. There's nothing wrong with that, and I think it just right now it was misunderstood because people are very livid of what happened. It's
Yeah.
fresh,
Yeah. It's
so
fresh. They don't
whatever,
know. Yeah.
yeah, whatever against what's not pro justice for George Floyd, or it's
Mhm.
not something that or something that is not agreeing to that.
Yeah.
People are very defensive of it. But
Yeah.
if you understand his narrative, there's nothing wrong with what he said. Like for
Yeah.
me, you know.
Yeah, I guess it's just nowadays, it's like, and it's good that you said it. It's like now you have to choose which one to side with. If either you hate them or you love them. So since Michael Porter Jr. is not saying hateful things to these police officers,
Mhm.
then the people who are reading his tweet, they're automatically thinking that Michael Porter Jr. actually loves him, is actually fighting for the police officers, which is to me that's wrong. And actually I'm kind
Mhm.
of mixed when it comes to this because, all right, when you told me the story, my thoughts was these police officers should die and burn in hell. Because what they did is awful. It's something that's not something that you should condone. It's terrible. And I guess the timing of how when Michael Porter Jr. said this is just uh, it's bad timing. But if you think of what he's saying, should you just hate those people because hate won't change anything, right? So what he's basically saying is just let's just pray for them instead of hating them. Maybe that will change. And people maybe won't think praying will change anything, so let's just hate on them. Let's just go against them. Which is exactly my emotions when I hear you say the story. It's like I hate those
Mhm.
people. These people should not deserve to live. These people should die. But I mean, in what he's saying, he has a point. Should we hate these people? Maybe we should just pray for them. Pray that God changes their hearts. And he did acknowledge that it is evil what those people did, but it's just very bad timing. Uh,
Right.
so I'm torn. Did he? Yeah, it's true. Maybe in his heart he wasn't. He meant well, but maybe it's entitlement in the part where just let the people grieve at the moment, let them hate, let them throw out their emotions at the moment. Don't stop them from expressing their emotions right now because people are just too emotional, and when you just go against that, people are gonna hate you. So maybe it's just bad timing in his part. But yeah, I mean, if you think about it with a clear mind, what he's trying to say, he's coming from a right place. He's just I mean, hate is never the solution to anything. It always has to be. You have to be in agreement. You have to love. It should be out of love in order to change someone. But
Mhm.
maybe it's just bad timing. So yeah, it's just
Yeah,
I
it
just
was
wanted to
just
actually.
yeah, it was just people are still really hurt of what happened, because again, it's a very triggering um video and clip and a news article
Yeah, to
again
be
in
fair, Michael
Minneapolis.
Porter
Yeah.
Jr. is white. You know, he's
Mhm.
light skinned, so he doesn't experience those things. So maybe those people who clap back at him, they have a point because, like, you know, the Michael Porter doesn't experience these things that
You wouldn't
you're like,
understand
yeah,
what
you
I
cannot relate. You don't relate to what we're saying.
or experiencing. Yeah, but
This is an ongoing thing. Police brutality is
yeah,
a thing.
but if you read his message, he didn't mean anyone wrong. You
Yeah.
know, like all he wants is, he's probably very religious, and he just wants clarity for everyone, because what happened is a very tragic time. It's just, it was, he meant well, but it wasn't just, the timing was off,
Mm,
because people are still sensitive about it.
yeah. And
Again, it's hard.
yeah, and my main point actually that I'm gonna say is, all right. So I admit I'm wrong because I went with the hate when I was hearing we were hearing the story, but like
Hmm.
because all those people who clap back, they are NBA players, so they have a lot of
Yeah.
influence, right? And so
Hmm.
they're
Yeah.
going against what Michael Porter Jr. is saying. So what Michael Porter is saying, let's not hate, let's just pray. And since these NBA
Hmm.
players, they're saying, no, we should hate. We should deal with this with hate. So basically that's the message that they're trying to send people out there. And I'm afraid that maybe right now hating is the easiest emotion to go with, but
Yeah.
what if that's the message that comes across every time, not only with police brutality but with maybe some smaller things? We go with hate every single time instead of trying to look for a different solution. So maybe that's what I'm concerned of. Maybe I don't know what I'm saying because I'm not black. But at this point, if we go with hate, instead of using logic, maybe praying for people, maybe just trying to do something that is productive. Because to be honest, hate doesn't really do anything, doesn't change anything, you know. So yeah, that's just my point.
But it's when you say those things, like, you breathe a culture of hatred,
Yeah.
and it's the toxicity of it is counterproductive to anyone.
Yeah.
It's better. That's why people say, well, my mom always taught me that don't say anything if you're still emotional,
Mm,
because your emotions will spew out in your words, and you're probably going to say something that you'll regret for the rest of your life.
yeah.
And I always try and like rationalize things before I speak and calm down before I speak, because again, right now people are livid. People are really angry that this happened again to a
Yeah.
black person.
Yeah.
It's like they don't even, and I saw it on Twitter. It says, I feel like people don't even blink anymore when a black person dies. It's become
Yeah.
such a norm, you know and it is true, because time and time again you hear stories about, like the lady that was just chilling in her house, and the police went in her house and shot her because he received a report that someone might have been, and did breaking and entering
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
something on the house. They were concerned. He came in, shot the woman. She owned the freaking house. She was black.
Yeah.
Black people in general are having a hard time, because this has been going on for years,
Mm,
and they're striving to say enough.
mm,
Enough with all of this, please, enough, because our brothers are dying. It's like when Asian people, when we were being discriminated because East Asian looking people are being racially discriminated in the US because they think that, they're spreading coronavirus all over. We also cried out for help, like, enough, we didn't do this, we
Yeah.
didn't want this. And that's all. I think that's all the hype is about right now. We need to stop this because people people feel like it doesn't matter if you're a good person, because George Floyd was a good person. you
Yeah.
know that college student from years back who was a top of his class, but he was mistaken for a runaway drug dealer, and he was shot.
Yeah.
He was a good boy, he was a good kid, but just because of the color of
Color
his
of his
skin,
skin. Yeah.
and they were saying stop, because stop killing people, and they want people to be held liable for it. Because again, the Minneapolis Police Department, when George Floyd died, they released a statement that the police officer, when they made the arrest, the police officer noticed that the person was in distress, in medical distress, and they called 911,
Mm.
which is total lie.
Yeah.
They're lying.
Yeah. Because of the video, right? So
They
they
were,
can't get away
yeah,
with it.
they were covering it up.
Yeah.
They were covering it up, and there's a video proof of it that
They're
no,
covering it up.
when the people were saying he can't breathe, but they chose, he was already pinned down.
Yeah.
That's the most hurtful thing for me. He was on the ground. He was pinned down the ground. There were four of you.
Yeah.
He's bigger and built, but there's four of you. There's no absolute need for you to freaking kneel on his neck,
Yeah. Tough.
because he's already on the ground. You're handcuffing him. And he was begging for, officer, please, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
He begged for his life, and he literally said, they're going to kill me.
Mm.
And they did. And that's what people are so mad about, that the government, or the higher ups of Minneapolis Police Department tried to cover it up,
Yeah. That's
the
enraging.
murder
Yeah.
of someone. Yeah, because if you think about it, if that happens to anyone, knock on wood, that happens to your brother,
Mm.
that happens
Oh
to your
yeah, you're
cousin, you're
gonna
not
be
gonna
filled with
stop.
hate. Yeah, for sure.
You're not
Yeah,
gonna stop. For me personally, if
that's
that
what's tough
happened to
here,
anyone of
right?
my,
Yeah, that's what's tough here,
yeah,
because we are told in principle that hate doesn't solve anything. But at this point, when you hear those stories, when you hear that happen, it's
yeah,
hard
that's
not to
all you can
hate,
feel.
right? It's hard.
Yeah, that's
It's
all you
hard
can
not to
feel.
like feel like you want to kill those people as well. Like they should rot in jail. These people should not deserve
Yeah,
to live. If you want to
yeah,
talk about karma and all that stuff, these
yeah.
guys should have a karma
Me,
that's gonna burn them in hell for like for
yeah,
eternity. And
yeah. And I
it's
think that I
yeah,
think that's when people are breathing hate and anger. Porter
yeah,
decided to go the opposite way. That's
yeah,
why he was hated for it, because
yeah,
again, people are still emotional.
yeah. But
But if
maybe
he
he's the
if he
mature
had said
one in this scenario. Maybe he's the one displaying maturity in all this, and
yeah,
maybe we are the ones acting childish for letting hate
for hating on him,
overcome us
yeah,
or imprison us. So
yeah,
yeah, maybe
just
just yeah,
you know,
that's a good yeah,
if
that's
if he had said it like when things died down a little, people would have understand it. But right
yeah,
now, since everyone's all emotional, they're like, oh, he doesn't care. He's a privileged white kid,
yeah,
and if you read it, there's nothing much to it. But he's saying that love is extending your prayers and your emotions to the officers as well, because they did wrong.
yeah.
I think the Bible says about something about repenting
Mm,
or whatnot.
Or actually,
I'm not a good.
like if you like, what would Jesus do? Well, Jesus said like turn the other cheek. So like if they,
Yeah.
yeah. So if they cut my hand, oh, you give them your other hand. So like you don't breed hate
Mm.
because hate doesn't solve anything basically. So yeah,
Yeah.
I guess
But again,
Michael Porter Jr. did like now I think about it, he's actually displaying a good amount of maturity compared to every one of us, and maybe he's the one on the right, and it's ironic that he's the one being hated because to be fair, what his mindset is actually correct. But
yeah.
at this point, it's just really easy to hate when it comes to, especially when it's very fresh, and that something like that happened. It's just really hard not to hate. It's crazy that thing that
Mhm.
happened. It's crazy, but props to Michael Porter Jr. And yeah, we should look at it. Yeah, we should look at things differently. So yeah, it's easy to hate. I get it, and maybe that's the emotion that we should you know it's funny too. Like if you don't show that you hate those officers, does that make you like a like someone who supports these people? No, right? You don't have to hate
No,
in order to show. But like that's what's happening nowadays. You have to show hate.
it does.
Yeah, you have to show that you hate them so that people don't think of you as a racist or as a terrorist or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is a
But
fucked up
let's
way to
put it
think,
out
but
there,
that's how
like,
it is right now.
let's put it out there that what those police officers did was wrong.
Yeah.
It was purely wrong.
Mm,
No matter how much, whatever religion you are,
mm,
killing someone is wrong.
yeah.
And I think the only reason why people are enraged about it is because, again, they were covering it up,
Mm,
and then they want justice for him. They want them to be charged with murder.
yeah.
All four of them. Not just
For
get fired
justice,
from
yeah.
the police, they want people liable for covering up the story, for murdering
Yes.
George Floyd. And they want this thing to stop. That's what everyone's battle cry right now. Stop racism. It's not
Mm,
funny anymore. It's never been funny. Stop killing our brothers. Stop hating on us. And sometimes white people get racially, discriminated too because they're white, and people are saying, "Oh, you have more privilege," and
mm,
stuff like that. Not all white people are racist, but majority of white people,
I
or
agree. Yeah.
more white people are racist. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And if we, especially if you're running or you're following Trump's whole
Propaganda. Yeah.
propaganda, he's he's oh my god, that guy, I can't
Yeah, I guess.
whatever he
I mean,
says.
at some like maybe I thought racism is slowly dying. I thought, but like I think Donald Trump really did empower these racists in some way because the
Yeah.
way he act on social media and even like in TV, it's very racist. Some of his
And we have
statements
like,
are racist. So it's like all these
yeah,
racist stuff, racist people, they were like empowered. Oh, okay. One of us is in power, so maybe we can get back to being racist again. But yeah, I mean,
yeah,
okay.
put that
So, yeah, what
Confederate
I'd
flag
say,
again.
yeah, that's true. What I'd say there is, yeah, you're correct. Those people who did that to Floyd, uh, should die. They should be tried, and they should be put in jail and have a death sentence right away. That's what I think. But
Mhm.
we should not be overcome with hate as well.
With hate.
So yeah,
And
it's
again, like,
just maybe let's let's
I feel
just
like,
let's just prevent something like that to happen. I mean, it
yeah, from
happened
happening
already.
again.
Someone died. Let's address it. Let us people let's go out there and let people know and be aware of these things. But let's not uh, make our actions based on hate. So there we go. But yeah, Eloin,
Yeah.
that's already 2 hours. That was
And
that was a very good
I feel like,
conversation as well.
yeah, and I'm happy to voice out that opinion, because in person I try to be indifferent. I don't like, especially when I know that people won't listen, or they're just gonna keep saying what they believe in,
Mm,
and they're not gonna, and at least at this platform I
yeah,
can say my piece.
yeah,
And it's
yeah, and I
it's
appreciate you
something worth
doing that.
person.
Actually, the way you put up the story, it's very concise. It's good. It's better than what I do. So maybe next time you're the one who tells people the story, because like there's so many things in my head. Like when I tell a story, I'd like to make my comments right away. So what you did is good. So definitely this is something that's you're good at it. I like it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, and
Thank you.
also your audio is way clearer compared to the last time. That's also a blessing. So yeah,
Yay!
yeah.
Because I read the comments, like I watch the YouTube, and I
I
hear it on Spotify, and I'm like, oh my god, my audio again.
yeah. But
I
this
hate
is
it.
way better.
And like,
When I post it tomorrow, you'll see that it's good. Well, like 100 times better than Tuesday. But yeah, thank you very
yay!
much, Ellen. Do you want to plug something? Yeah, you're baking on that. Nothing.
No. Oh, and because I want to extend the help to people.
Mm-hmm.
I know the quarantine has been tough,
Mm-hmm.
and if you need any self help book
Mm.
in the form of ebooks, you can follow my Instagram. Just DM me any self help books, and if I have it, I'll send it to you for free. I know some people sell
Ooh,
online, but I'll
nice.
send them to you for free. So
All right,
my
cool.
Instagram is Louis Chu.
All right, spell that out.
Okay. So Louis Chu, that's Looey,
Mm-hmm.
and then Chu is Choo.
All right. Okay, so yeah, you can follow Eloin, and yeah, just message you, right? Message you, and
Yeah, just DM me. Or even if you don't want to follow me, just DM me.
mm,
I just want to help out people, especially this times.
yeah.
For self help books or any books that you like. If I have it in my library, because I have an extensive library, if I have it,
Oh.
I'm gonna send it to you for free.
All right, there you go, guys. So if you want some self help books, you can go ahead and message Eloin. Anyway, that's
Yeah.
it for us. That's episode 25. Lots of good topics tonight. So yeah, thank you very much, Eloin, and also thank you, Kitty, who joined us earlier, but unfortunately she had something to do. But yeah, thank you, girls. Thank you, Eloin, and good night. See you
Good.
on the next episode. Hopefully, yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Good
good
night.
night. Bye bye.